the members of the parliament.
This is not just a policy debate. It is a matter of democratic empowerment and national development. Mr. Speaker, honorable members of this esteemed House, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I rise firmly to propose a bill before us. This House will introduce single tenure for the office of the President. To begin with, the definition of the key term, single. A single is the predetermined length of time or accurate tenure for the office of the President. This motion will bring more numerous benefits to our political landscape. To begin with, 1. A single time could reduce the influence of campaign donors. A single time could help reduce the influence of campaign donors and special interests. For example, the 2015 elections have led to loss of innocent people's lives, which is unfair due to the influence of campaign. Subsequently, my dear honorable parliamentarians, more accountability on nation building. A single time could encourage presidents to focus on national interests rather than securing elections, and it will lead to a more polarization, governance, and stability and continuity. Additionally, distinguished honorable members of this esteemed House, a single time will help reduce corruption from the office of the President. A single time could help reduce the levels of corruption, and it will help reduce President from susceptible corruption and interest groups. When we introduce single tenure, a president might focus on nation building since he won't need re-election. Furthermore, my dear esteemed parliamentarians, a single time will lead to continuity in governance. For example, the former governor of Edo State, Godwin Obasanjo, had did many work in his first tenure, but when the people of Edo State had re-elected him, then he corrupted and mismanaged their farm. So, by prioritizing single tenure for the office of the President, we will help allow the influence of campaign and reduce corruption from the governors and the President. Additionally, my dear esteemed parliamentarians, a single time will help Nigerian citizens to reject a president they believe he is not performing well. Nigerian citizens are struggling to vote under the sun or in the rain to cast votes, but at the end of the time, they will left aside, and the president will not be responding to their needs, and they will be feel less inclined. So, by prioritizing simple tenure for the office of the president might feel more motivation to perform to the people since he didn't seek for re-election. My dear esteemed parliamentarians, a single time will bring more benefits to our numerous political landscape. Additionally, my dear esteemed parliamentarians, a single time could lead to sustainability and continuity in governance, and could lead to presidents to implement policies and programs without worrying for long-term gains or elections, leading to a more sustainable development. Moreover, my dear esteemed parliamentarians, a single time will promote and enhance ability to to respond to Nigerian citizens' needs and feel more motivation to prioritize nation interests over personal ambition. My dear esteemed parliamentarians, by introducing single term for the office of the president, it will lead and strengthen our Nigerian democracy system and lead to continuity and sustainable development in Nigeria. By prioritizing single tenure for the office of the president, it will give voters ability to reject president they believe is not doing well to them. Subsequently, my dear esteemed parliamentarians, with this clear and precise bill that I present here before you, I hope this House will join me in full support of the motion and introduce single tenure for the office of the president for Nigerian development and strengthen our democracy system. I urge my fellow honorable parliamentarians to join me in full support of the motion and introduce single tenure for the office of the president in terms of development. I so submit. Thank you.
That has been the Prime Minister's submission to the Parliament. We now invite the opening opposition leader to come over to the podium to make their own submission.
I am here to stand against the idea that this House will that introduce single time for an office of the president. Point number one, limit continuity. Single time will not allow enough time to experience leadership. Single time means frequent change of government. And experience of government.
Okay.
With due respect, Mr. Opposition Leader, are you aware that multiple terms could encourage power consolidation? What could you say about this?
Because a single time will not allow enough time to determine leadership.
That has been the opening opposition leader. We now invite the Deputy Prime Minister to come over.
This is not just a president. It is a matter of democratic development and nation development going forward. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I firmly stood up for the words of women before the Prime Minister, when I illustrated the pattern I did take behind him. As Prime Minister, people will argument with some friends. I would like to support it. Prime Minister claims that focus on development. Yes, Prime Minister tells the reality. It prioritizes performance over politics. When leaders know they have only a single time to make an impact, they focus and focus on development, not the election campaigns. A single time pushes leaders to hit ground, honesty, precision, and development of our nation. Prime Minister claims that reduce campaign. Yes, Prime Minister tells the reality in this moment. It reduces campaign manipulation. It reduces corruption and political manipulation. The obsession of staying power, funds corruption, political vote advertising, and other energy given to the politics will now be renewed. Our government will afford it by introducing the number of office of president. My fellow distinguished parliamentarians, including Mr. Speaker, it allows fresh ideas and broader participation. Rotating after a single term, open political chance for new ideas, new innovation should not be done. Always should be the time to serve the people in our nation. My dear honorable parliamentarians, country development. By introducing single term for office of president, our country will be more developed by fostering a robust economic environment. With due respect, my dear fellow parliamentarians, including Mr. Speaker, Prime Minister claims that policies, programs. Latest example to former governor of Taraba State, he was jailed for many years imprisonment. He was found guilty of stealing funds of the Taraba State, accepted parliament. Accepted.
Do you think single time will be enough for an office of president?
A good leader. Thank you for raising this important POI, my dear honorable parliamentarians. Single time and two time. A good leader, what we can do, what a leader can do in twice tenure, he can able to afford it in single tenure. If a government is on the duty of the citizen.
I don't understand. Explain it again.
Okay. A leader, a duty that will take twice tenure. If he is a good leader, he will be able to afford it in single time. My dear honorable parliamentarians, by introducing single term for the office of president, nation development, many of our citizens in Nigeria are running abroad for peace and Israel. Well, because our government have no role to play. If single time is being introduced, citizens will afford its need, like construction of bridges, building industries, and other renewable citizens need. And I urge these honorable members to invest in this bill and justice of it, since government is a machinery of justice. Good evening, Mr. Speaker, honorable members. I also submit to single term for the office of president. Thank you.
By the deputy leader of the open opposition for her submission.
In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, the nourisher, sustainer, provider, protector, and closer. And all complete blessing and salvation be to our noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And those who are follow him and shall follow him up to the day of judgment. Our respected judges, members of the parliament, distinguished, I am Hawa Ishaq Ali, standing before you to address on what the Deputy Prime Minister has said. The single time, introducing a single time in the office of the president is not enough. Introduce a single time. It it will it may not be enough to carry out what he decided to do. If we assume but accepted.
With due respect, Deputy Opposition Leader and fellow citizens, are you not concerned that multiple times may encourage power consolidation? This House will demand an explanation.
Can you repeat yourself? I don't understand what you are trying to say.
Are you not concerned that
without letting that one complete his power. National development. Can you explain to us why you say so?
Yes, a single-term president can reduce the election campaigns without corrupt practices. That's it.
Don't you think that one another one would just focus on political gain rather than national development?
Yes, of course. Furthermore, political renewal. A single-term limit promotes idea of a political cycle in which fresh leadership and emerge without threat of political dynasties. In addition, enhanced encouragement of national development. A president with a single time can focus on long-term projects without worrying about the consequences of re-election. Furthermore, public trust. When people know that a leader is not focused on staying in power, it may increase the legitimacy of the presidency.
Mr. Speaker, Honorable colleagues, I am Honorable Yahya for its onset. But to defend the pillars of democracy that have been tested, refined, and proven over decades of constitutional practice. Members of this hallowed chamber, the proposal before us today to introduce a single term of 4 years for the office of the president may sound elegant in simplicity, but deep down lies a framework that risks weakening the stability, effectiveness, and accountability of our executive leadership. Members of this hallowed chamber, the prime ministers have tried in buttressing their stance while they are proposing this motion before this great chamber. However, let's examine the substance. The presidency chair is not a ceremonial chair. It is an engine that requires time to gain momentum. We must realize that governance is not a sprint but a marathon. We cannot expect a farmer to plant, tend, and harvest within an unrenewable year and expect continuity in that. As such, as long as we want solid development that leaves lasting impact and touches the lives of citizens of this great country, then the motion of single term for the office of the president should not be our priority. In addition to that, members of this great institution, let history guide us. The framers of our constitutions, that's the Westminsters and the traditional rulers, chose 2 terms for us. They just didn't do that just for granted. No. They gave the people, not the parliamentarians, not the elites, the chance to re-elect leader if his mandate deserves a second chance. But if this bill is passed, then the populace and the electorate will not have the chance to choose a leader that serves well for a continuity. Okay? Don't be confused, please. If there is no re-election, where is the chance? It is only through re-election, that's apart from the single term, two term, that they will have a chance for re-election. Excuse? Maybe we are not on the same page with you. In addition to that, members of these harlot chambers, if we take a look into the United States of America, and of course we are adopting their system. They operate on renewable terms for their presidency. That's why they have witnessed such in development over centuries. If we want solid development, it is only something run for the he will say. But when we prioritize a single term for the presidency will be executing his leadership with his eyes on history books rather than living with the people's daily needs in their heart, which is unbecoming of us as a nation. This is not only that, members of this harlot chamber. If we reason well and critically understand how our Nigeria system works, how everything is routine, a single term will disembark and disintegrate the policy of continuity in leadership. In Nigeria, if elected for 4 years, you will not have enough time to set up a competent cabinet, draft and pass legislative bills, and then stay and monitor and evaluate those bills to see the long-term benefits. But when there is two-term presidency in office, you will have a term to continue your legacy. That's why we have seen inconsistency in our politics in Nigeria. It has been the major force driving our progress, because many new governments come into being with new starts that never matured into sustained progress. During the era of the late Umar Musa Adua, we have witnessed the agendas of reviving Nigeria in the next 30 years. When the President Jonathan administration came into existence, they threw away the agenda at all. And when the late President Muhammad Buhari of blessed memory came into being, we see what? Next level, Jeremiah. And after that, the current leadership came in with renewed talk. All of these things are set of decorated lies that never see the light of the day. And the only reason is because there is no long-term availability for the president to keep being in office. In conclusion, members of the silent chambers, this is a moment of reflection. As long as we are patriotic about the progress of our dear nation, Nigeria, I urge my honorable colleagues to join me in rejecting this proposal before us, not for anything, but for the progress of our country. Because as long as we want to tackle abuse of government machinery, what we need is to strengthen INEC and then enact laws of financial campaigns in order to strengthen our electoral processes and not a single term office. For that, I hope my honorable colleagues I hope this House would reject this motion for the progress of our dear country, Nigeria. I so oppose. Thank you.
Thank you. And that has been submission from the position. Please, the area council's coordinator You can also support us in controlling the movement as far as the participants. It's like, sorry, there is no respect, there is no opinion from the side of the participants. The way they don't just movement. The movement is also another thing. So you want us to advise the organizers of the program to generalize the area particularly for those that are misbehaving. Thank you very much. And now it is time to invite the deputy leader of the closing government to come over for her submission.
In the name of Allah, the Creator, the Sustainer, the Owner. You alone we worship and you alone guide. Oh Allah, protect us and guide us from any evil. In any way you guide, no one will misguide him. Mr. Speaker, honorable educators, esteemed members of the House, my dear opponent, invited guests of honor, good day all. My name is Abubakar Garba Fatima. I am here to represent Zim Area Council. It is with great honor and profound sense of responsibility that I stand before the noble chamber to argue on or to add more on what my Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, and the closing government has said. Sorry to say so. My Prime Minister have too much work in office. That is why he did not elaborate the topic. But I thank my Deputy Prime Minister. He have elaborated everything. I will just summarize one or two things on the topic. That says, introducing a single term in the office of a president. My evidence are prevention of corruption, prevention of the corruption, public health, public impact, and public trust. When people notice that the leader is not focusing on focusing on improving power, it may increase the leaders to believe. This is the little I have for you. With these short reasons, I hope the opposition bench are fully convinced not to confuse that introducing a single term in the office of the president is the best. Thank you.
Stay where you are. There is a time for raising point of information, right? It wasn't time when you were asking, right? So take note. That will not stop us from giving you a chance to do that. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. You have made mention of a single term against corruption into the house. How a single term will help in uprooting inefficiency that will ultimately help in Ghana.
Repeat yourself, please. Repeat yourself.
Make single related prevention of corruption means will you justify before the house how a single term will lead to uprooting inefficiencies, thereby ultimately leading to prevention of corruption. Thank you.
By reducing campaigns. Hope I have answered your question. By reducing of campaigns. Thank you.
Okay, we now invite the deputy leader of the closing opposition for his submission.
Mike, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister, other parliamentarian, distinguished members, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Let me start by saying I am drastically, exorbitantly flabbergasted having heard this irrational statement made by the Prime Minister that the House should prioritize introducing single term for the office of the President. This statement is totally irrational, and it doesn't make sense to a layman. If you look at introducing single term to the office of the of the President will lead to one loss of experienced leaders. A leader who knows the way, because they say a leader is the one who knows the way, shows the way, and follows the way. Once you remove the leader that knows the way, then you are going to fall in a way that you do not know. If you take, for instance, when there is a war and the current president just come in without having experience on how to resolve conflict in the public, so how is he going to tackle this crisis? Do you think he can? No. The answer is capital no. Secondly, it will lose to reduction of long-term implementation of policy, because there are some policies that need time in order to accomplish. But when you give just one term to a president, he cannot accomplish these policies. If you take, for instance, Russia, China, India, these are countries that develop through long-term increase in order to make sure that the president has a long time in order to be able to execute the policy which he has for the country, in order to make the country develop. Likewise, it will lead to the confusion to the voters to think, who should I vote? Because this one has been discharging his duty to the country. So how is he going to this one? How is he going to move on with the policy?
With due respect, did you think double tenure system can lead to the one embarrassment?
Yes, it will lead. Because let me give you for instance. Sit down. I said it earlier that if you look at the coup the first coup in Nigeria in 1966, the coup that led to the death of Sir Amadou Sadona Abaka Tafawa Balewa. He had long-term policy for the country. He had wanted to implement policy that will lead to the development of Nigeria. But because of that coup, he couldn't be able to accomplish. From there, Nigeria did not gain its breath. Secondly, if you look at the tenure of those that were couped by the soldiers, you could be able to understand that yes, if you do not give long term to president, you cannot be able to achieve much more than you think. If you look at African countries like South Africa, like Ethiopia, these are countries that develop through long term in office. So this is the answer to you. Did I answer you?
My dear opponent, never answer my question clearly. Calm down and hear my question again.
Really?
Don't you think double tenure system
I live today only embarrassment. No, I don't believe in long stories. I just need a short answer that will convince me, not to confuse me.
Okay, you want me to? Are you trying to select the type of answer you want me to give you, or do you want me to answer you the way I feel that will?
You are just giving me.
Okay, Opana, please calm down. Let me calm down. Let me address the House since you can be able to understand what I'm saying. But I know the members and the speakers and even the Prime Minister himself is listening to me. The Prime Minister should know this, that introducing one term, single term to a president is like bringing just a cup of water and put fish in the cup and ask him to live forever. This won't happen. And ask him to grow. This won't happen. Therefore, any country needs long-term in office for the president to be able to accomplish the policy which he has for the country in order to make the country become powerful and strong. I give you example with countries like China, India, and Russia. These are countries that are strong yet powerful in the world, but through long-term to the office of the president. Therefore, we must have to put this motion down in order to allow peace reign. And also, saying that campaign leads to corruption, this is totally unethical. This is totally irrational. Because if you look at, by allowing just one term to the office of the president, the president that will come, you just focus on political gain rather than national development. Therefore, introducing single term to the office of the president is not okay.
With due respect, you know that time can lead to policy consistency.
Yes, it will lead, because as a president, just like my principal gave example here with Adua, that Adua had that era. Do you want me to give you answer what you are trying to do? I'm supporting your question. Okay, raise the question again. Let me hear you.
I said, you know that multiple time can lead to policy inconsistency.
No, this is capital no.
So you confuse yourself.
Capital no. This is capital no, because I give you example with countries like Russia, China, India. Now they are having they are the one that are growing in the world.
As from the beginning, I asked you, you said yes, and now you say no. You are confusing yourself.
You are confusing yourself. No, the question was not understood earlier, but now I have understood you. Thank you. So, in conclusion, I hope the members of the Parliament will be with me at this moment. Will support the motion that there should be no introduction of single term to the office of the president. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You have all performed very good, right? But still, there are wait for comments from the judges. I think I will start with from my right hand side. Do you have anything to comment?
Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala ashrafil mursalin Sayyidina wa Nabina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa sallama tasliman kathira wa ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us this opportunity to witness the second round of British parliamentarian debate. We have to commend the effort of the participants. You have really tried. It's not easy. May Allah reward you in abundance. But there are many observations, but I just decided to bring out this observation in your subsequent presentations. You should speak like a parliamentary members or parliamentarian members. Don't speak as if you are debaters. Assume yourself as your parliament Please take note of this. And some of you are taking long. You are taking much time in greetings. You don't need to. Just go straight to the point. If it is assalamu alaikum, just say assalamu alaikum. So, but don't tahiyyata meaning there. So please, try and avoid this. So thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
To add from what he has said, I observe the following. One, it's like up to now, others aside from the submission of the motion by the Prime Minister, others you have derailed to some extent from your role because there is what is expected from you. The Deputy Prime Minister is expected to add to what to criticize what the opposition will say and add to what his Prime Minister has said. So also the opening government should also criticize what the closing government is saying and add up to what the Prime Minister is saying. This is what is expected to you, up to the summarizers. Those are the ends you are expected to give a summary of what they have said. That's the only thing. You don't need a long speech to make. You may only add one or two, and that's all. You save your time. And don't take it personal. They are not your opponents. They are your colleague. They are your colleague. Don't say opponent. You are not debating. Right? Thank you very much. And that brings us to the end of round one. And we hope to draw a curtain for now. We shall be going straight to observe our Maghrib prayers and wait for further information and directives from the organizers of the program. From us, we say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.